Hey, welcome to the Backwoods Gourmet. Today, we're going to do a little experiment with two identical Lodge BLACKLOCK pans. So y'all stay tuned. So here's the reason for this experiment. There's two schools of thought on this surface in the Lodge pans. There's one whole camp over here on this side. Says you don't need to do nothing with it, just use it and it's gonna get great over time. Then you got the camp over here on this side, which I tend to be somewhere closer to, that says if it ain't smooth, it ain't worth nothing. Okay, I mean, so we got these two groups, people butting heads on comments here at the Backwoods Gourmet channel. So since we just happened to get two brand new 12-inch Lodge BLACKLOCK skillets, this one still has a label, okay? Just got this one yesterday. We're gonna go ahead, we're gonna sand this one out, and we'll leave the other one alone. But we're gonna have to spend some time on this. We're gonna sand all the seasoning out of it. Got three seasonings from the factory in it. We're gonna have to put 3 seasonings back in it before we can compare the two. So it's gonna take a little time. We're going to set it over here on the burner, clamp it down. We'll take an 80 grit sandpaper to it, and we'll sand out the bottom and just a little bit of the sides. I'm not worried about way up here. I don't cook on this part. But we're going to sand it out, and we're going to re-season it. And then we're going to give a real comparison, side by side, and doing several different dishes over the next, I don't know, couple weeks. And we'll let the two sides that are butting heads actually see the difference. Okay, if Lodge had taken this pan, the brand new BLACKLOCK, and smoothed it out and seasoned it at the factory 3 times, if it would have worked any better or any worse than the one that they're sending out right now. So this is going to be an unscientific test, but just to keep the two sides of this conversation, let's keep it real, guys. All right, so let's get started. All right, so you can tell that's still got that gooey rubber bandy glue right in the bottom. There's the label. Okay, brand new. It's never been used. Okay, that Makita does a pretty good job on it. I got most of the seasoning out of it. That clogged the paper a little bit. So we're going to go ahead and just take it down until this is almost all shiny. Alright, so run my finger across there. Feels really nice and smooth. Let's give it the spatula test. So I get this comment all the time about the spatula test on the cast iron. People are like, oh my God, oh don't, you're scraping it, you're ruining it, you're doing this, you're doing that. I watched my grandma use metal spatula on cast iron my whole childhood, okay? And she had the slickest cast iron of anybody I've ever seen. Okay, so much smoother, very smooth to the touch. You know, we're not ground all the way down in there, and I don't want to thin this pan down anymore because it's already a thin pan. But that's got a nice surface. I really don't want to polish it. I want it to be something there. It's like the seasoning is kind of like a layer of paint almost. It does get down into the cast iron a little bit, but I found that polishing it completely like a mirror finish is not the best way to go, because that will tend to peel right off of that. Okay, so now we got to scrub it out with some salt and clean it up real good, and then we're going to start reseasoning it. All right, so I'm going to dump a generous amount of kosher salt in there. It's coarse salt. Grab just a little bit of water just to kind of make that into a paste. This is a great scouring agent for your cast iron. Alright, one of the main reasons we're doing this is because, you know, now we got all those little bits of iron filings and stuff in there, as well as those pads were actually aluminum oxide pans, so you got some of that aluminum oxide in there too, and that's going to get down in any little pores or divots that are still in there. So you really want to scrub this really well. I got just a Lodge cast iron brush, and it's just scouring that out really good. I'm going to take it aside and rinse it really good. You can see the salt actually changing color. That's picking up that iron. It's getting a kind of a gray look now. So you want to spend a fair amount of time on this, making sure that you're getting all that stuff from down in them pores, so that our first layer of seasoning sticks really well. So I scrubbed it all out, I dried it off with a paper towel. We actually went ahead and engraved our Backwoods Gourmet and the year 19s on the bottom, just to, so you guys know we're not switching pans on you. Okay, grade right in the bottom there. I usually do that on the ones that we modify. Just identifies them as a modified pan for us. It's really nice feel to the bottom. I'm gonna go ahead and get it on a little low fire. Start getting a little heat in this before we put any oil on it. So what I'm gonna season it with the very first time is lard. It's like the old timers did. That's about the only kind of oil they had back then. Yeah, lard gives you a little thicker first season on it, and it gets down in all them pores. You just want a very light coat. And I usually like to try to get most of the smoking done out here on the burner. I'm gonna turn it down just a little bit, just to keep smoking up the house so bad. So we're gonna let it go there a little bit. You see the oil already starting to turn brown. And we're gonna do this 3 times. But I'll show you the whole process the first time. We're actually gonna bake it 350 for an hour the first 2 times. And then the third time, we're gonna put it in the oven at 500. You can also do it on your gas grill. Our gas grill for some reason right now is not working. I got to dig into that, find out what's wrong. Okay, so you see now how it's already starting to turn nice and dark. I'm moving it around on the burner a little bit, make sure it gets hot all the way over to the edges. As soon as it's kind of like consistently copperish brown looking and stops smoking, I'm going to go ahead and put it in the oven at 350. I already got that preheating, and we're going to put it in there for 30 minutes to an hour. And repeat this process. So it looks like that right there, and stop smoking, which it almost has. I'm gonna go ahead, take it inside, put it in a 350 oven for 1 hour. So we did that oven seasoning twice at 350. So you just got a really nice pre-seasoned coat of oil there in the bottom. So we did that twice with lard. So now going in for the final seasoning, just a little bit of vegetable oil. So we're going to take our really good, we use the white shop towels because they're lint free. I'm going to wipe that all over the pan. We're going to fire it up under here one more time, let it go till it stops smoking so much, and then we're going to put it back in the oven, and this time we're going to put it in at 500, and we're going to bake this for at least an hour till it's nice and shiny. We've had it out here on the burner for about 10 minutes. I've wiped it about 3 times with vegetable oil. It's getting really hot. I turned it over, I wiped it on the bottom so it'll get down in our engraving there that we did. And I wiped the handle a little bit. Okay, it's stopped smoking now. So we got our oven preheated to 500 degrees. So it's time to go stick this bad boy in the oven. Okay, so here are our two pans after this process, and this process has taken me a few days. So we're back here a few days later. Like I said, this one's stock. Okay, this is the one right out of the box. We really only did a cook on that, and we threw it back on the stove with a little oil in it after we cooked. Other than that, we have not put this back in the oven or any of that. I just wiped it with a little oil. Alright, and then this is the one you've seen us go through the process of sanding it out. Now we did this, we did it 2 times at 350 with lard, and then we came back with, I believe, regular vegetable oil, and then we put that in the oven, started at 350 and then cranked up to 550. And you can see the bottom is pretty smooth, okay? Pretty shiny. You can see there are some places here where the seasoning don't seem to be taking so great, but that's all right. Okay. Again, if you do this process, it's going to take much longer to build this seasoning up than it will to build the seasoning up on this one. So that's the whole purpose of this video, is to determine from all you guys are commenting whether you're better off staying with the rough seasoning or trying to sand it out and start over. So guys, make sure you tune into the next video, and we're going to take both of those pans. We're going to cook identical dish in each one and see which one works the best for that particular dish. Now that won't be the last video, because we're going to continue using these two pans and comparing them over quite a while. So if you haven't already done it, hit that subscribe button down there. If you really love our channel, we got a join button down here also. You can check that out. But hey, either way, we'll see you next time.